Okay. I think I'm live. I'm gonna wait for my dashboard here to pop up. Make sure you guys can hear me. So hang on just a second there. Um, yep, yep, you guys can hear me. So I'm gonna mute this again. Um, Perfect. Hi, it's been a while. I haven't streamed in forever. I've been moving, getting some stuff uh done, and doing a lot of just real life shit. And but now I'm back. I'm here. I'm alive. Um if you are interested in what's going on with the ABXY cast, we're kind of on a little bit of a hiatus right now. We got all three of us have a lot of personal stuff going on. Chase has started a new job. Ariel is looking at starting a new job. I am potentially going to be starting a new job. Kind of up in the air. So there's a lot going on. So we've kind of just put the show on the back burner. We do have some other stuff we want to do kind of in the meantime. This is one of them. I want to stream more. It's a little difficult. This is the game room in our new apartment, by the way. So you can see we have just a whole bunch of it's the camera's following me, so you probably can't see much of it, but all three of our systems are in here. So when we're playing games, we're kind of all together in the same room, and it can make streaming a little fun and difficult, especially if we're not playing the same game, because we're all here in this room. Um, but yeah, so I thought just as a test to make sure everything's working properly, I'm going to take you guys on a tour of my base on our shared All the Mods 7 Minecraft server. So we started the server about a week and a half ago now. We have done a lot in that week and a half, like a lot. So I figured I would take you on a tour of my contributions to the server. So this is the spawn right here. We actually spawn right next to this giant, scary village over here that we never actually explored. So dangerous places, we just avoided them. So you might be wondering, my hotbar's full of some crazy stuff, which we'll get to in a minute. But right over here is our old base where we started very first day. Let me just go over here. And, oh, little spoiler, I may be kind of floating. We'll get to that in a second. Um, so I do have the chat up in front of me, so if you want to chat, you can. But this is our original base right here. This little space and all of these chests, which still have a bunch of stuff in them. And in fact, I am going to probably move all of this stuff into something else in a minute, just so you guys can see it. And this is actually Matt's contribution, this giant cave that he has dug out before. He's been having serious connection issues with this server, so he has not actually been able to play with us, sadly. But anyway, I guess I will go ahead and spoil some of my hotbar things here. So as you can see, I do have a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe. They're both enchanted. I have a full set of diamond armor, including some pants with mending, which is really useful. I'm trying to get mending on all of my gear so that it'll just repair itself over time. And then I can upgrade this to netherite and be good to go. Got some other stuff in here. Got my food, but I also have some books, and I have a warp stone, and I have my advanced wireless terminal from Tom's Simple Storage mod, which this basically lets me access my entire storage system's worth of stuff from anywhere in the game. And I'll talk a bit more about how I made that work in a second, but I'm just going to go ahead and really quickly take all of this stuff that was in the old base, and I'm going to pop it into my storage system back at my new base. And so this way, I'd never have to come back here again. And I'm even going to take the chests. So pardon me for a moment while I do this. Quiet while I get this done. I guess in theory I don't need to take everything out like this. I could just break the chests and take everything out that way. But this is a little less messy. One of these days I'll remember which block, which chest I'm pulling shit out of. That is Ultimine, by the way, where I can just hold a button down and mine everything. Really useful mod. That. Some of this stuff is Matt's, like I said, and I'm just taking it mainly because he's not able to play, but also he is going to be moving into my base if we are able to get him to be able to play, and so all his stuff will be in my storage system where he will be able to use it. So yes, so this is a wireless access terminal that's part of Tom's Simple Storage mod, and it basically is bound to a storage terminal at those particular coordinates. And by default, there's two tiers of this wireless access terminal. The first lets you access that bound terminal within 16 blocks of your of that terminal. So the 16 block radius, you can access it. The wireless terminal upgrades it to 64 blocks. However, if you build beacons nearby within 8 blocks of that terminal, you can expand where you can access it. A level 1 beacon lets you access it anywhere in the overworld, and a level 4 beacon lets you access it in any dimension, including the nether and the end and stuff like that. So it's actually a crafting terminal that I built. So if I look it up over here, it is this thing right here, the crafting terminal, which not only gives you access to all of your items in your storage inventory, but also it gives you access to all of the ability to craft right here as well. And I have it set to accept a bunch of stuff. The next thing that I have in this hotbar is I have 2 spell books. These are part of the Ars Nouveau mod. The first is Blink Bomb, which I renamed it. I think it's called Warp Blast or something like that, or Blast Warp by default. And basically, it's just a little port that I can use, and it just creates an explosion wherever I land. So it's kind of an offensive spell, which is really nice. I can just blow shit up. But I can use it to travel long distances. Well, there we go. Travel long distances and blow shit up. I mainly use it now as an offensive spell, if I use it at all, because I have this. I believe I can fly, which is basically it allows you to fly. I mean, there's really nothing too crazy about it. You right click, shoots you up in the air, you hit the space bar to glide, and then you can go anywhere and everywhere. Very, very simple, which is really nice. And this allows exploration to occur very quickly. As you can see in the map here, this is all the area that I have explored. And these little white labels, these are waystones. So these are basically spots on the map that have a little teleportation stone that you can use to teleport from any other waystone to get to them. And actually, you don't even need a waystone, because if you have a warp stone, which you need to build a waystone, you can actually just hold right click and it'll bring it up to let you go. So in my case, I'm going to just quickly go to my base. So now I'm at my base, which is built in a Red Rock Valley biome. And that's my base. It was built in one of the arches. And I built this little dock right here. And this is the Cloud Arch Mesa. And you can quickly access the dock by getting a boat. And you can take that boat, and you can just come over here to the dock where you can throw the boat back in, and then you can make your way up the very long staircase to. And I'm just gonna quickly stop the rain. Well, there we go. Mainly because it's bad for the stream. It's very loud and it's just bad for the compression. So you just make your way up these very, very long stairs to get to the top of the mesa, which is where my base is. And if you're wondering why I'm not taking any fall damage, it is thanks to a special item in my inventory, which I will show you, called bunny hoppers. So the right down here, it's part of the artifacts mod, and they basically increase my jump height when I jump, and they also grant me immunity to fall damage, so I don't take any damage. If I were to jump from here and land on the ground, I will not take any damage. So very useful. This is my old elevator. Now that I have the dock and I can fly, I may get rid of it. But I do like or I might just turn it into a bubble elevator because I like how quickly you get up in bubble elevators. These are the waystones. You right-click on them. You can select your destination. You can rename destinations. But this is my base. So let's go inside. This is just kind of like a long tunnel area that right now doesn't have anything in it. Now, right now, I have claimed these chunks on the map, as you can see. These are claimed. And then I have also set these 6 chunks right here to be force loaded. And these chunks basically are where my storage system is, where the beacon is, where a couple other things are. By force loading them, it means that they stay loaded in the server as long as I'm online. And that's what allows me to use the terminal everywhere, because I have this lovely little ugly beacon on top of my base. I'm going to cover this up. But this is a level 4 beacon, which lets me access all of my stuff everywhere. But because these tiles are claimed, other players can't interact with buttons and things, but they can still interact with pressure plates. So pressure plates on the inside, not only does it allow me to get out without having to right-click on a door and having to use wooden doors, but it also means that anybody who gets inside my base can actually get out. Now, over here is my storage system. So this is the actual terminal that this wireless access pad is attached to. And this is basically where my entire inventory is. And if I go into this room and I right-click on this, you can see that I have 3,240 slots in my inventory, and currently 1,618 are free. So just under half of my inventory is free, or just over half of my inventory is used. And this is the network of connectors and chests. So these are diamond chests. They're part of sophisticated storage. There is no organization. It is just all randomly in here. Each one of these chests can hold 108 stacks of items. They can be modded. So in theory, I could mod them in some way. I don't know what exactly I would upgrade them with, but you could in theory. And this is all the shit that... now, I could use these sort buttons to sort my inventory, but this actually does it by item amount. I can sort it by name, and I can sort it by amount. Those are the two ways you can sort, and I can sort in either order. But this has a built-in search. So if I need stone, I can just search for stone. If I need apples, I can search for apples. If I need a book, if I want to look at what enchanted books I have, I can just look those up. If I need a specific type of armor, like if I need a helmet, I can just type helmet, and it'll show me all the helmets. You know, basically, however I need to get access to stuff, I can. Let me claim my quest rewards really quick and move those in there. But these are all inventory connector cables. They connect these inventories up to the storage system. And this is basically going to be my storage room. Now, the downside to this particular method of storage control, if you're a Minecraft player, you can probably already guess what it is. And that is that there is absolutely no way, if a chest has stuff in it, which most of these, chests will have stuff in them. But again, there's no rhyme or reason to where it places things. It just goes into these chests. But to basically, if I wanted to upgrade these chests to netherite chests, or if I wanted to move them to make this storage space more, what's the word I'm looking for? More space efficient, that would require me to basically go in and utilize my backpacks, which I do have a special backpack in here. It is called the backpack. It is this one right here. Um, or nope, this is not it. Where's my backpack at? Oh, I'm wearing my backpack. But these need to go into my inventory. It's a good thing I messed up there. Let me put this warp stone here because I don't want to accidentally put the warp stone back. So let me do this. Open this up. I should probably check all my backpacks now that I'm thinking about it. All the backpacks that are in there. So backpacks are basically portable chests, and diamond backpacks basically hold the same amount as a diamond chest. So they are at least 1-to-1 in that regard, in that they hold the same amount. But this has a whole bunch of stuff in it that I didn't even know was in here. To be fair, this could actually be Matt's backpack. He may have put it in a. Come to think of it, it probably is Matt's backpack. So now, if I go in here, I can put this back in, and I can pull up the rest of these backpacks. Let me just make sure there's nothing in. There's stuff in this one too. So these are probably Matt's. So this is just me putting everything in the storage system, which does take a second to get everything there. But prior to this storage system, backpacks were basically very important, and upgrading those backpacks with things like Inception upgrades, so that you could put backpacks inside of backpacks, so you could carry more shit around. That was also important. So in the case of my backpack, it's actually on my back right now. This is the backpack, and it has all of my backpacks in it. And these backpacks currently just have inventory upgrades. They have upgrades in their inventories. So if which basically allows them to automatically deposit, and I just haven't put those upgrades in. And then this backpack has this advanced deposit upgrade that allows me to filter out the backpacks from being automatically sorted into the storage system. Whenever I open the terminal, it'll automatically dump everything in. But I have my backpack on me. I don't really use it though, because I can just put everything in here when my storage gets full. But moving these would be a pain in the ass. So there's going to be, and then for every 2 rows of chests you have to skip 2 rows. So I can have chests in this row here, and then I can have chests back here as well in these sections. I'm trying to, at least until this back area is completely filled in, I'm trying to keep this walkable, without having to totally break down the storage system anytime I need to come in here and troubleshoot it, which so far has not been at all, but you never know. Eventually may have to come in here and fix stuff. So that's the storage room. And then down here, I have a little overlook with some chairs so people can sit in and look out into the wide mesa that I have decided to live in. Hello, Hello, Legendary. Hi. Uh, oh, torch. This is the bedroom. Not a not a lot of crazy stuff in here. Um, this is kind of where I do my magic stuff to generate mana. I was trying to recharge a sword, which is why I did all of this, but I don't actually really use this all that much. Hi Ben, if you are creeping, um, as Legendary says. I also have a whole wall of furnaces, which I really need. I wonder if there's a mod in here that lets me like just have one giant furnace, like a giant furnace. Of course, it's not what it's gonna be called, but would be easier than having to go through each and every one of these. Coal is actually one of my things I'm struggling with. Um, so if I go look up coal, I say struggling. I have 65 blocks and 201 individual things of coal, but I was struggling with it, and then I went hunting. Um, Blocks. These are a big thing for me. I like to store everything in blocks if possible, um, because it takes up less inventory slots to have everything blocked. I am currently short on a lot of gems and ores because built the um, I built the beacon, which takes a lot of blocks of ship. So that used up all of my stuff, which kind of sucks. This. Let's do this. Put it in there. And so basically converting as much ingot. Can't spell ingot. So converting as many of these as possible to blocks is important because it uses less inventory space when I do that. But yeah, so this is kind of a useless little patch of magic that I was playing around with, but I'm not actually using very often. Um, So you come down this hallway. This is the library and the brewing section where I can make where I made knowledge potions to create this knowledge charm, which basically when I activate it, it increases my experience gain, um, and I can also enchant things here as well. This is kind of where I'm trying to roll for mending plus fishing. And a little further down is the nether portal, which we'll get to in a moment. I also have my crafting room for upgrading gear, fixing gear, and then Tinker's Construct, which is my next little thing that I'm going to try to get into. And I have all my stuff here. I have my indoor farm. This is my little bread farm because Toast, very efficient at feeding you and giving you overheal and overhunger and all that stuff. Very efficient. And then around here, I have my little lava trash can. Kind of had a little bit of a hitch there. Sometimes the server gets a little sticky. And then I have all this open space at the back area of the base. I have not decided what I'm going to actually put back here. But I do have a bunch of space that I've dug out on the inside. This is probably where I'm going to end the base itself. So you have this room, and it basically goes from all the way over here to all the way. You can see the library, which doesn't have the window yet, to all the way over here. Um, so you can see it's a pretty long base. Um, it's not a small base, and I'm not using every inch of space inside of the base either. So that's kind of not super efficient. There's clearly more space in here than I'm actually using. but I am using the majority of the inside of the space that I need. And so these waystones let you go anywhere, like I said, but you can also place the waystones inside of the nether. Ooh. So if I go down to my nether portal, actually, I can show you the wonderful world here. This was before I got this upgraded. I had a crafting table and a stick on here that I could carry around, and I would put the crafting table and a stick in either this chest or the one over by the waystone, and it basically says place valuables inside before adventuring, because this, before I had the beacon set up, this was useless outside of my base, and now it's useless nowhere. It's useful everywhere. So if I go into the nether, load in really quick, and then you can see there's a waystone right here for the nether stone. So I can quickly teleport anywhere from inside the nether. And also, I can access my entire inventory from inside the nether, which is super awesome. And I can fly in the nether using the book here that I have, which I did rename, I believe I can fly. So I could just go to this stronghold right here, and I could fight some blazes and some wither skeletons. And I can very quickly get back to where I need to go by flying. Or if I am maybe things are not going well for me, maybe I am in a bad place and I need to get out of here real quick. I can just hold right on that, and I can go to any of these places that we found, but I will go back to my my base. So that's the base tour, which is kind of what this was going to be to start. Oh, also my infinite water pool. And yeah, these are the rest of the stairs. I didn't show you guys all of the stairs because this is a very long staircase from the bottom of the arch all the way to the top. And basically, this is for people that aren't on the server and don't have flying, because everybody on here has one of these books. I just walked right off the edge. So, but this goes all the way back down to that dock from earlier. So yeah, all the mods is exactly what it says. It is all the mods. It is 320 mods according to the menu, which is a lot, for sure. And I will say that the server has been relatively stable, all things considered. It's not perfect, obviously. It does have its moments. Um, it is a 10 gig RAM server, and occasionally um, it will crash. It does happen, and it sucks when it does, but it does happen. Um, Not all the time, though. It's very rare that it actually crashes. But when it does crash, it takes about 10 minutes for the server to come back online because it has so many mods to load. So it's very inconvenient when it does crash. But for the most part, it doesn't. And thankfully, the Minecraft client, when you customize how much RAM is allocated to it, is able to handle this mod pack. But yeah, I mean, like as I said, I have flown all of these places, and then you have these. They're a part of what's the name of the mod? Let's see here, advancements. When dungeons arise, I don't think that's the name of the mod. Um, but that's where the advancements are under. But it generates these kind of like temples and let me see. There is Thornborn Tower over here. I can show you what that looks like. These are basically just big loot dungeons that you can explore and clear and kill stuff out of. And oh, a little bit of server lag there. These waypoints are super awesome because I can just add them. So yeah, so this is the Thornborn Tower. It's basically just a tower of dungeon mobs and loot. And maybe I can see one of these looter chests. Because there's a really awesome mod in here. Oh no, not there's one. So there's this really awesome mod in here. It's called Looter, and it adds these loot chests that are instanced. So this chest is now looted for me, but if anybody on the server were to come to this chest and open it, they would be able to, and it would have unique loot specifically for them, which is really awesome and really useful. What you looking at, fool? What you looking at, fool? Yeah, that's right. You can't hurt me. But this has instance loot for everyone. So you can just quickly gear up in a lot of ways very, very quickly thanks to that. There's a awesome amount of loot in a lot of these places. Like even regular old Minecraft dungeons, you know, have all this stuff in them. And so the looter chest is really nice because it gives you the opportunity to get all kinds of loot that you want without having to worry about splitting the loot up with people because it's automatically instanced. So I know I got a couple people listening or watching, I should say. Video quality look good. Sound quality okay. I've got it's been getting this set up and working has been kind of an exercise for sure. Because turns out Voice Meter Banana, which is the software that a lot of people use to do multi-channel audio, it's not super easy. Not very easy at all to get set up. It's very complicated. I did finally get it working. But it was very, very difficult to do that. It took a lot of work to get it working. Okay, it's good. It looks good and sounds good. Thank you. But yeah, no, it took me like an hour or two of fiddling around with Voice Meter Banana because you have to pipe all your audio devices, so my Yeti mic, my headphones, into it, and then you have to pipe audio into those virtual inputs that it creates. And I wanted one input for comms, so Discord. I wanted another input for browser and music, and I wanted another input for the rest of the audio on the computer, so the game audio. And so I had to create 3 virtual audio outputs that all funneled into my headset so that I could hear them. I could hear them all at the same time. And then you guys would only hear them, that you would hear them all at the same time, but I could control the audio levels separately. So I could have game audio down, chat audio up, music audio where I needed it if I decided to put music in the background, which currently I have not done. But if I decided to, I would be able to. And then the microphone, I have to pass the microphone through Voice Meter so that I can use it in all of the different applications, and then pass that input through to NVIDIA Broadcast so that NVIDIA Broadcast can do noise removal because I have a fan behind me and an air vent right up there. So basically crossing the streams of air. So I needed to have something that would cancel that out, which is NVIDIA Broadcast. So I have that. piping the microphone into VoiceMeeter, from VoiceMeeter into NVIDIA Broadcast, and then NVIDIA Broadcast into OBS and Discord and all of those places. So it's pain in the ass to get that all set up. And then the webcam, which I finally invested in one, getting that set up and piping that through NVIDIA Broadcast to do the auto framing as I move my head around. And then originally I had background blur, but the fan was fucking it up because it's twisting and it's causing like a background that moves. So it doesn't like it. So I had to get that set up. And then finally get everything into OBS. And finally, once I got everything into OBS, I had to get OBS set up with streaming in one set and recording in another set, and having it so that when I stream, it automatically records the VOD, but the VOD video controls are different than the streaming video controls. I got it all set up. It took me a little bit, but I got it. So I am glad that it is all working, because this is the first test. I did a couple of test recordings to make sure that the recording part was working and that the mic levels were fine and that the sound levels were good. But I couldn't stream it and make sure that it was all working for you guys until today. And so I was able to get it streamed and working, which is good. This isn't going to be the only game I play, by the way, on here. Right now, we're just playing a lot of this. I have put a lot of time into playing... Oh, no. Into playing Minecraft over the last week. That's right. I can tank creepers. It's kind of overpowered, but I can tank creepers. I mean, I can really tank anything. Like, I'm a little OP. Just a little. And I'm not even using, like, fancy schmancy shit. Like, I'm using base vanilla weapons and base vanilla armor. And yet, I am practically, for all intents and purposes, invincible. And thanks to my bunny hopper shoes that I showed you guys earlier. Yes, baby zombies suck. My biggest problem with... Yes, they're fast. That's my biggest problem with baby zombies. They're way too fast. And they're like a small moving target. Them and cave spiders. I don't like either of those because they're super fast and their hitbox is really small. But yeah, so I don't like them either, Legendary. They suck. But I'm basically, like, enchantments-wise, other than, like, the Soulbound and Mana enchantments, like Respiration and Protection, they're normal enchantments. You know, Mending is a normal enchantment. Feather Falling, Depth Strider, those are normal enchantments. So the mana regen ones, that's what basically allows me to fly like crazy because my little mana bar at the bottom left fills up super fast. And so I don't have to worry about running out of mana. And then the Soulbound just means that if I die with these items equipped... Ooh, I took my boots off. If I die with these items equipped, they will stay equipped to me after death. So the item will remain with the owner after an untimely demise. And my goal is... Ooh! That could have been bad. So my skin, let me actually just disable my armor really quick so you can see my skin. And take off my stuff here. So let me disable my hat and disable my claws and my gloves, disable my belt and my bunny slippers and my backpack. So you can actually disable all these things from being visible. So this is actually what I look like. Also, let me take off my necklace here. So this is actually what my skin looks like. It is not a leprechaun skin. Legendary. This is what I look like. However, thanks to this mod right here, which adds all these slots, I have a it's Ender Steve basically. Part Steve, but he's been cursed by the end. And a little bit of Herobrine in the white eye. But Zombie Gangsta. Yeah, Zombie Gangsta Steve. So I have the Leprechaun hat. It's the Superstitious hat. This applies an extra level of looting to killed entities. So basically, with this equipped, this is a looting 4 sword, even though it's only a looting 3 sword. And if I had any sword, it would be looting by default. This necklace increases the length of invincibility after taking damage. So basically, when you take damage, there's a period of time after you are hit that you can't take damage again. It's kind of like a damage cooldown. This increases that damage cooldown. Obviously, I have my backpack on my back. So now if I go back out of my inventory, you can see my backpack. You can see my leprechaun helmet. You can see my cross necklace. And then I also have some pouches here, which let you put shit in them. And then I have my digging claws, which increases the wearer's mining speed and base mining level. So that's the claws on my right hand. And then I have vampiric glove, which causes the wearer's melee attacks to absorb health. This is how I'm basically a tank, because I am constantly between, I'm basically between. My old sword actually had lifesteal on it, but this is lifesteal. Basically, I'm absorbing health. And then I also have my bunny hoppers, which are my bunny slippers, and they increase my jump height and grant immunity to fall damage. And then I have the helium flamingo, which is my belt. So it's basically a pool ring that looks like a flamingo. And it allows me to swim in the air for a limited period of time. Press left shift while in the air. So if I jump and hit shift, I can basically swim in the air, which is super useful. And then I have all of my armor, which I can use this cosmetic armor mod to basically customize how my armor looks. So I could put in different armor here to make it look different. But then this allows me to toggle it on. So if I wanted to, I could actually hide all of my armor and run around looking like this. And I still have my armor on. And it's still visible. I also have muffler where I can turn off sounds. So if I wanted to, I still have my armor. You can see the armor bar above my health bar. So I still have my armor on. But I don't need to look at it. It doesn't have to be visible, which makes me look a little bit better, actually. So I may keep that. So yeah, this is, you know what? Let's go ahead and do my cover-up project. So let me take my red rock here, and we'll do multiple stacks because it's going to take me multiple. And we're just going to cover this up. Make sure that it wasn't going to fuck with the levels. I just don't like the way the beacon looks, and honestly, since you can't make beacons out of redstone, they can only be emeralds and gold blocks, iron blocks, and diamond blocks, and you can't use like redstone blocks. Red would look a little bit better on this particular surface. And then I'm actually going to stain some glass and make this beacon a different color. So let's do glass. And do I have red dye? No, but I think I can make red dye if I do this. Let me look up red dye. And I can make red dye with a poppy. So let me look up a poppy. There, make some red dye, glass, and red. No texture packs. There are none. Red Stained glass. Oh, it's 4. It's surrounded. Okay. So I need more glass. There is no texture pack installed on here. So it's sand. I'm going to need 2. But yeah, no texture packs legendary. This is all vanilla textures. The only things that are technically textured are going to be the items that are part of the mods that give me all these different blocks. But everything else is using standard Minecraft textures. So while this is a mod pack with 320 mods in it, there are not any resource packs or texture packs being used. None whatsoever. Glass to be done so I can make my case. I'm trying to Google something here. Whoa, I think the cats are going to be in trouble. Hang on a second, guys. Be knocking down boxes in my bedroom where they're not supposed to be. Okay, but that's all right. Still love them. They just need to watch themselves. All right, so now we can go back up here. I don't know what it is about them, like why they have to go places and do things that they don't need to do. But they do. They knocked shit over. They actually had knocked the PS5 box down in my bedroom. I do have one of those for those of you who are like PS5. I did manage to get one. It was not easy. It was not cheap, but I did manage to get one. Surprisingly, it's been a lot easier to get. Well, not surprisingly, but it's been a lot easier to get like Series S's than it has been to get any of the other next gen systems. So, but So, but yeah, it has been. If you're in the market for a next gen console, it has been way easier to get next gen Xboxes than it has been PlayStations. If you're trying to get a Series S, if you're trying to get a Series X, good luck. And if you're trying to get a Switch, give up now because they are very hard to find. PlayStation, you just really have to pay attention to when they're doing drops if you want a PS5. Oh, also, hang on. Let me go grab something. I also have something else that we haven't had a chance to talk about because the podcast has been on hiatus. But I do have something that we did talk about on the podcast. So give me just one second. Sit back down, get comfortable, take my phone out my pocket before it slips onto the floor and I accidentally run over it with my chair because I'm in pajamas. Dun 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 dun. It's a Steam Deck. I managed to cop one of these for uh, you know the low price of um, $700. I really like it a lot. It is. I would not recommend this to people who don't already have a gaming PC, which is weird. You would think that with it being a portable gaming PC, that it would be the perfect like entry level PC, especially if you buy the entry level model, which is the 64 gig version, which is $399. If you buy that one, it's way cheaper than pretty much any gaming PC you could build. I personally would not recommend buying that model. The main reason, pardon the voice crack there, the main reason that I wouldn't recommend buying that is because of the shader cache files that games generate on the Steam Deck, just because of how Valve's translation layer works for running games on Linux, which is what the Steam Deck runs, versus Windows, which is what most gaming PCs run. That translation layer requires a lot of shader caching and data caching and all of that stuff. That takes up precious storage space on your device. And it's not impossible for games to fully saturate. Even if you install all of your games on a SD card, it's not impossible for all of your games to saturate that 64 gigs of internal storage with shader cache after just a few games. So I would definitely recommend getting the step up model, which I would have to check the price to see exactly how much that is. Pardon. Um, but I'm pretty sure it's 549 or 499. 529. So it's 529 for the step up model. That is a little bit harder to justify. So again, like it starts at 399 for the base model, which is 64 gigs of storage. Um, and it's the most affordable one, and I think it's the one that most people are going to buy because you can just throw in an SD card. But again, those shader cache files, they're really going to bite you in the ass because they are so big, especially for bigger games. So that is potentially a problem that you may run into. So I would recommend buying the step up model for $529. And if you're already spending over $500 on one of these things, you're already spending more than a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. That you might as well bump up to the $650 version, which is the one I got with the 512 gigs of storage. And that one, at that point, you already are in, now that graphics card pricing has come back down and parts availability has gone up. You're now at a level with the 650 Steam Deck that you could probably buy a gaming laptop or you could build a desktop for not that much more money that is going to be a better gaming device than this is if you don't already have um, a gaming PC and you want something to be like designed for playing the latest games. If you want something, if you already have a gaming PC like I do, and you already have a bunch of consoles and stuff, and you want to be able to take your games that you already play on the go, that's where this makes a lot of sense. And so I really, really like it a lot. Right now, I just have Minecraft installed, and I have been playing the server on it, which is, super fun. But that's basically what I've been doing with it. Um, and I'm probably going to play some other games. I'm trying any recommendations for games that I might want to play on the go. I've been thinking about. I have not played Slay the Spire, which is a deck builder game that people seem to really, really like. And the reason is I'm not a big fan of deck builders. But my roommates and I recently played Clank Legacy, which is a board game, and that is a deck builder. And I really liked that game a lot. And so I'm seriously considering, since I liked that game so much, I'm seriously considering going in and getting Slay the Spire because I think it would be really, really cool to play something like that on the go. But Slay the Spire is also on my phone, and I could probably just get it on here, and then I could play it in even more places because I wouldn't have to lug the Steam Deck around to play it. But it's a really cool device. I think it's really, really neat, and it's really fun. And I think if it is a product for you, you're gonna know. Like, you're gonna look at the Steam Deck and you're gonna be like, I need that in my life, and that's how you know that it's for you. Because you look at it and go, I would like to play games that I'm already playing everywhere I go. And the difference between this and the reason this makes more sense for me versus like a Switch, even though I have one, the Switch is great for Nintendo games. It's great for playing Zelda. It's great for playing Mario Kart, things like that. But the Steam Deck is something that I can play games I already own without having to buy them again. So, like, if I wanted to play Terraria, or if I wanted to play Minecraft, or if I wanted to play Slay the Spire, or something that I already own, even though I don't own Slay the Spire, so I don't know why I use that as an example. But a game I already own, if I wanted to play that game on the go, anywhere, I could with the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck is just a portable gaming PC. Now, it does run Linux, which means that not every game is going to work out of the box. And Valve has done a decent job of just, kind of making it clear which games are going to work and which games aren't going to work. But it's not super, comprehensive and obvious. Like, there's some games that you're like, oh, this isn't going to work. And then other games, they do work. And it just depends on the game what works and what doesn't. And Valve is doing an okay job at making it clear what games are available and what games aren't. But you do still have to tinker a little bit. Now, you can install Windows on this thing. Performance, from my understanding, is not as good on Windows. That may change over time if Valve decides to implement some Windows level drivers that are better or worse than what they have now, or better than what they have now, rather. But the you don't have a lot of the ability to tweak the GPU clocks, CPU clocks, TDPs, frame rates, and all that stuff that you do on the Steam Deck in the Steam overlay that you have a lot of control over. So you lose a lot of that flexibility when you install Windows, but you're gaining a lot of compatibility with games that aren't going to work out of the box or without a lot of tweaking and fiddling. But I have a couple days coming up where I'm off, a couple days off coming up. And my plan is to kind of spend a lot of time fiddling and getting things working and just playing some really cool games. I kind of want to play Multiverses, the new like Smash style fighter on it. So that's kind of a possibility. And I may just use it to play old games that I haven't played in a while, or that I've been wanting to play for a while, and I just haven't had the opportunity to. But they're older, and so they're more likely to work without an issue. Um, and I may also use it as an opportunity to, play like emulation games and just go back and play like old school games. What game, Legendary, have you played? You say I've played that. Multiverses? I'm assuming that's what I was talking about. I wasn't looking at chat when you said it. Is it good? I mean, I've played a lot of Smash, but I haven't played any multiverses yet. Oh, and there goes the server. Just so yeah. Um, oh man. Just um, I always play you know who. I don't know who. You will have to be specific. But yeah, so occasionally the server does crash, um, and there it went. Um, so oops, you can see that it is down. Oh, Superman! Of course you play Superman. Really? Like I shouldn't have even asked. That's not even a surprise. Um, Let me look up the character list for that game. Character list multiverses. Um, let's see. So you don't play Batman? Well, I knew they had Shaggy and Vilma, um, and Taz because I remember Taz got nerfed right when the game first came out. Um, I see you've got Tom and Jerry, Finn, Arya Stark. That's interesting. I just so Arya Stark. I have been not rewatching myself Game of Thrones, but my roommate Ariel, she's been watching Game of Thrones because she's never watched it before. And House of the Dragon starts tomorrow. She is not going to finish it before House of the Dragon starts tomorrow, so we are waiting to watch House of the Dragon for a week to give her time to catch up. But rewatching Game of Thrones, little bits of it, because I'm not making her wait for me to sit down and watch it, because that would be unfair. Great show. Great show. Um, the last season, it is what it is, but the rest of the show is really good. I mean, it is a very random character list in Multiverses Legendary, but it's Warner Brothers, so they're just using all of the stuff they have access to, which is Looney Tunes, Scooby Doo, Game of Thrones, and LeBron James and DC. So it makes sense that they would do that. It's a good idea. I mean, we Smash needs competition. Really, there's not really a viable option. I think Brawlhalla is the closest on PC. I've never played Brawlhalla, but it's the closest to a like non Nintendo Smash. So it's nice to finally have like the IP character brawler, which is what Smash is. Oh, you've played Brawlhalla too. Uh, uh, yeah, I haven't played Brawlhalla myself. I have not. You know what? I don't play a lot of fighting games. Like fighting games for me have always been like party games, so I play them with people that I'm actually in the room with, and not playing with people that are like online, just because most fighting games don't have rollback netcode, and rollback netcode is like essential to make fighting games playable over an internet connection. um But yeah, so I'm not the biggest fighting game player. I love Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur. Um, See, I play a lot more first person shooters. Yeah. But you do suck, Legendary. You do suck at first person shooters. But the thing is, I also used to suck at first person shooters. It's about practice. Practice, practice, practice. The more you play, the better you will get. And it's always about just not allowing yourself to get frustrated. So for me, I would get frustrated and then I would stop playing. And what I found was that if I didn't do that, um, I would eventually get better. It's like any type of skill. You just have to hone it. You have to keep playing. Um, I am going to play the new Call of Duty. I am very excited for Modern Warfare. I did not play Vanguard. I personally was not interested in it. Um, but old, I don't know what that means. Incompatible version. That's not correct. Uh oh. Did my server update or something? I may have to look and see if my server updated. Um, but anyway, side point. I am gonna play the new COD. I really really liked Modern Warfare 2. I mean, not Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2019. Personally, it was my favorite of the. Oh, there it goes. Personally, it was my favorite of the new Call of Duty games in the last few years. Cold War was okay. I thought the campaign was interesting, but and the multiplayer was fine. But I definitely preferred Modern Warfare 2019. So I'm excited to play Modern Warfare 2. I am excited for Warzone 2. I am excited for Overwatch 2, yes. Overwatch 2.0. It is not a sequel. I don't care how much Blizzard tries to market it as one. It is an update for Overwatch. And they've basically all but confirmed it that it is now free to play. It is going to replace Overwatch in the client. So it is. You aren't even going to be able to skip Overwatch 2. It's just a reboot. But I do love Overwatch. It's a first-person shooter, though. So I mean, so Legendary loves Overwatch, but she's not good at first person shooters and she doesn't like to play a lot of them. Of course, D.Va is your main. I can't say anything. My main is Soldier 76. And I will go turn in my hardcore gamer card at the nearest GameStop. Having said that, because Soldier 76 gets a lot of shit because he is easy to play. He's very easy to play, and it's like playing a first-person shooter at that point. D.Va gets a lot of shit though because she's very hard to kill. Honestly. What have we found here? Attacked by hoglins. You know what? Break that. I need a break. I need a break. So about what I said earlier about basically being invincible, this is what I mean. I'm at me bros. Okay. Right. So I set up this temporary waypoint over here because I was curious what this was on the map. And it turns out that it is a bunch of stuff. And I did get an advancement. Rusted Root, find a bandit village. So this is a bandit village. So this is all going to be stuff that's a part of the mod pack. I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is in base Minecraft. It has been so long since I have played vanilla Minecraft that I honestly don't even know what vanilla Minecraft looks like anymore. Like, I don't even know what parts. Sometimes there are like I'm playing this and I don't even know what's modded and what's not, because I'm just like, I haven't played it so long that I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna die. I think. Maybe. I can't tell because I'm withered. Nope, I'm fine. Yeah, I don't like the mobs that ride stuff. It's a little overkill in my mind. But you know what? It is what it is. Skeletons that are riding hoglins. So every time I take damage, I don't know if you hear it, but the bunny shoes make a little noise. So there's a little squeaky noise of the bunny every time I take damage. These looter chests, like, they are full of loot. Just full of shit. You can easily get way more stuff than you need. Oh, oh, oh. Computer was like, no. Like it. And this is how I know my inventory is full, and that means it's time to just go whoop and put it all away. I mean, this really, like, eliminates the need for backpacks. Like, early on, backpacks was this really awesome thing that we kept getting, and we were like, ah, yes, backpacks. And we would, every time we would get a backpack, we would pick it up. But now, with this wireless terminal, who needs backpacks, right? Like, who needs them? I could just, anywhere in the world. I can just get all my shit, and I can put it away, and I have access to everything. So who needs backpacks? Backpacks are for losers now. That's where I'm at with backpacks in this game. Backpacks are for losers. People who are just getting on and want to extend their storage while they work on building the storage crap, which I will say is very tedious to build. It does take a lot of resources and a lot of patience to build up the storage system like I have it. Vassals. Ow! Now, if I wanted to, I could create a waypoint over here that says Bandit Village so that I could take, like, people on the server and show them where it is. But I don't really need to do that because it's so close to where my base is, number one. And number two, it's very distinguishable on the map. It's the reason I put a temporary waypoint here in the first place. But if you look at the map, you can see like this. It's very clear that this is something, and that's what this is. This is a bandit camp, and that's kind of how I find stuff. Like there's something over here, right here, over by Sandport. So if I wanted to fly over there, I could. And you know what? Let's do it. Let's go. So we know it's over by Sandport. So we shall go that way. To the map, we can see that I'm heading straight for it, whatever it is. And it is a, if I remember right, I think this is like a temple. Ooh! So the server doesn't take flying very well, I will say that. So there it is. Is a giant temple. I really need to invest in a bow to fight these guys. Because these are the only things that can really hurt me. Only thing that can really hurt me. Nope. Everything else pretty much can't hurt me. So, and the only reason they can hurt me is because they can keep distance from me. And distance means that I am not benefiting from my constant invincibility extensions. So I did get an advancement for find an infested temple. So that's what this is. This is an infested temple. So this is another one of those dungeon things. So this is something that I may mark on my map. In fact, I can go into my map and I can right click waypoint, create waypoint, and I can just say infested temple. Now there is a marker, infested temple. And so now I can see that from any ways away. I will say, having so many of them is kind of annoying. I have thought about, there is an option in the settings for the map for waypoint beacons. There is an option to basically set a maximum distance. So I could say like anything that is over 1,600 blocks or thereabouts is not visible, and that cuts down on how much I can see. But then it does mean that if something is over 1,600 blocks away, I can't easily find it. Without pulling up my map and going and looking for it, and then heading in that general direction. So it's kind of a trade-off for readability of the few beacons that are on screen at any given time, or Sky Island. Or I should say, Clay Island. If you need clay, you come to one of these. Really useful if you're trying to build bricks. But yeah, so I may keep that distance minimum up because it does make it a little bit easier to see. Because I have a bunch of waypoints. Like I have a pillager village down here. Mainly it's all of these waypoints because the waypoints have their own beacons, which is a little annoying. Kind of. Not really, but it is a little bit. But yeah, so that is the server. I'm not going to show you like Chase's base and his little section down here where he's got his whole setup going, or his mob spawner that's, I believe, over here. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not gonna go show all of that, but I just kind of wanted to see how the streaming worked, and clearly it's working quite well. So that's good. Um, so I honestly I would love to stream more. I said that at the start that I want to do this more, and now that I have all the technology set up and all of the software set up, I really do want to do this more. It's just a matter of finding time. So I don't know, for the people that are watching, like, do you want me to do more of this, or do you want me to try and do this regularly, or just kind of whenever? And then also, it's really hard for me to get a consistent day to do this. I will say that with my current employment, my current job, it's very difficult for me to say I'm going to stream every week on this day from this time to this time. But that doesn't mean that it is impossible for me to stream regularly. It just means that it's difficult for me to stream regularly. So I would definitely like to keep doing it. But like I said, it is very difficult for me to stream on a regular basis. Because it just is. It's very difficult. Oh, 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 oh. Uh-oh. There we go. So the server's having a little bit more difficulty tonight than normal. So I may have to fiddle with some things on the server side to see, because it is definitely having a little bit. Lime Island. This is neat. Evil Fishing Village. And now I will return to scouting the coastline, which is what I was doing. But yeah, so I definitely, if you guys would like to see me do more of this, if you would like to see me stream regularly, definitely let me know, because I would love to do more of this. But like I said, it is just not the easiest for me to get a consistent set of time off. And that is kind of the hardest part of this whole shebang, of this whole ordeal, is figuring out how to make the time and find the time, honestly, to stream more, because it's not as simple as just every Tuesday or Thursday night for a couple hours, and then every Saturday for a few hours. It's just a matter of when I can. If I'm going to be able to stream, even in advance, sometimes, I don't know necessarily that I'm going to be able to. But I would definitely like to continue to do this. But I think with that, I'm going to wrap it up for now. do a little bit more exploring of this coastline while I wrap it up. I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in and watched the stream tonight. This isn't really a formal stream. This is more of a, um, you know, me just kind of making sure the technology is working and making sure all of the software is working, just making sure everything's working, basically. It's not necessarily a indicator of what every stream will be like. But yeah, so with that, I think I'm going to use my warp stone here to go home. Just boom, and go to the home here. And we're going to call it there. So I'd really like to thank everybody. And later.